Hi, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm still playing around with my light. All right, so I'm going to have to do some adjustment to the video after it's done to see if I can improve the lighting. But we're a work in progress. And as somebody said to me today, she said that she liked that I made a decision that I'm doing this and I just jump on and did it. And she is, when she grows up, she wants to be like me. And so we are working out the kinks, but I just want to say hi again, everyone, and welcome. Can you drop something in the chat so I know, are you hearing me okay? Working through all of this. I see we have two viewers so far. So, hi there. Can you just drop a hello in the chat so I know who is there and I can say hi? Hi, hi, hi. So glad to be here this evening. I am so tired, but this is a commitment that I have made, and I am honoring this commitment, trying to center my necklace. I'm honoring this commitment to be here with you every Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock to just share. Hey, Adam, thank you for coming back on. Have you thought more about what we talked about last week? I hope you have. Thank you, Adam, so much. Adam, one of these days I'm going to interview you to perhaps launch you because I think you are just absolutely amazing. And I think that there is so much that you have to share, and there is so much inspiration that you can bring. Not much. That's all right. I'll draw you in. You know I am, Adam. Thank you. Thank you for joining. And so today we're going to be, we're on episode 2 of Nathan's next chapter. I kind of really love that. I want to first and foremost give a big shout out to all my friends and supporters, everybody who's been helping me to make this a reality. It has been a dream from Nathan was young, and I really didn't know how to do it. And living in Jamaica it also was a lot more difficult. So I am very happy that technology has changed so much since Nathan was born, and it is giving us, more of us as parents, the opportunity to really stand in this space and to share our stories, because remember, our stories matters. Somebody once said to me that the life that we live and the experiences that we have are given to us as a gift, to help us grow, to learn, to pull out the talent and gifting that is in us, but also it is a gift to others. And so I am just so happy for the opportunity to be able to do this. And so I want to say, hey, Mama Bears. Hey, Papa Bears. Hey, Adam Bear, and everybody else who is watching and will watch. Welcome to this new episode where we're going to be talking about Nathan's New Year's resolution. But before I do, if you have not yet done so, take a minute to like, to subscribe, and to share so that we can, you can be notified when new videos are put out. I think next week video probably will be more of a recording, because Nathan is going to be doing some processes over the course of next week that I'm going to have to document. And so it will be a pre-recording that will be put out for that, because I'm trying to really give you a bird's eye view into his life and into the process. Because a lot of times when I talk about it, people don't get what it is. I remember when I talked about Nathan doing a public speaking engagement, people reach out to me to ask me, how does that happen? Because he's nonverbal. So how does he speak? And so I was describing his communication device, which, unless you see it, sometimes it's hard to get. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of that so that you can get a more visible view of what is going on. But before we move forward as well, next week I'll be hosting the first Special Needs Mama Bear workshop for 2025. It's under the new brand, the Special Needs Mama Bear. It's going to be a virtual workshop. I'm so looking forward to it because it's going to touch on some very critical aspects of us as parents that we need to know that nobody tells us, that will help make our journey that much easier. Today, I had the privilege of doing an interview on the Franklin Advocate and Reporter with my dear friend PJ Parker and her wonderful husband and partner Bill. And Nathan was there for the interview, and he was quite excited to be on camera as usual. But then, after a while, he was ready to go in because it means we're cutting into his TV time. But we're so grateful for the support that we have in our community to be able to continue this very important work and to reach out and touch other parents. Also, very big news. We're going to be in the recording. I'll show it to you. Some of you might remember that 2 years ago, Nathan was changing what is called AFO, capital A, capital A. So A as in apple, F as in Frank, O as in orange. And that stands for ankle foot orthotics. And that is an important equipment that individuals with mobility disability like cerebral palsy need, because what it does, it support the feet and the ankle right up to the knee for some kiddos like mine, and allow so that when they're standing, their feet isn't twisting all over the place. They're learning how to stand loading their feet, and it's a frame that support their foot. So they wear it everywhere. I was told that he's not allowed to come to school without his earphones on, because it means if they try to lift him and stand him or put him in a walker, which they do as part of his physical therapy there, and he gets injured, then the school and the personnel are liable. And so every kiddo with cerebral palsy who has mobility issues in the lower extreme, where they need support to walk, it's a brace. So they get this brace and you actually put it on for them to get to school. In future videos, I'm going to be showing you how we put on the brace, because it takes two of us to dress Nathan at any given time. And we're going to be recording that so you can get an example of or get an idea of what it is that we're talking about. But in the past, when we were choosing, I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago when we chose the A4, I had done a little thing on my Facebook page, and people had kind of liked and selected. They were trying to guess which one Nathan was going to take, and Nathan ended up taking one. And so I've been talking all day. And so that was a nice little competition that we had, which was very fun. So this year, his physical therapist from school reached out to say, hey, we're selecting the designs for his new FOs because his feet has grown, so he needs a different type of support. And I said, let him choose. So they sent back to say he chose this thing called BAM. I have never heard of it before, but Nathan and his brother and his father watch a lot of comic strip and a lot of manga and a lot of anime. And so he chose a comic book strip that is called BAM. Wow. So that's the design. So I'm going to show so that the teacher asked, how cool is that Nathan chose this? So I'm going to share it with you. But one of the things that we've been doing for a little while now as part of transitioning him into adulthood, we always would have him as part of the conversation. And whenever something is being selected for him, whether it is wheelchair, he decides on the color of the wheelchair. Of course, the therapist works through the functionality, but in terms of the colors, in terms of the areas that we have control over, we ask him to help make that decision, because it's his wheelchair and he's going to be using it, and he's in it all the time. So he must have some say in his own life. So this year, rather than get involved in the selection of the A4 design, I just left it to him. and he knows exactly what he wanted, and he chose what he wanted. So as I said, I will share something in the re-recording. We'll update it to put in that particular thing that he chose, so that you can get a sense of where Mr. Nathan's head is. So with that said, are there any questions at this point? Any question, anything that anybody want to know? Remember, you can leave a comment here, or you can email me at the special needs mama bear at gmail.com, and I'd be very happy to either reach out to you personally, or if there's something that we can share, hopefully something that we can share during this session, then I will most certainly do that. So at the start of the year, everybody gets involved in making some form of New Year's resolution, whether you go through a visioning workshop, whether you go through something that you decide that you're not going to do anymore, or something that you want to do anymore. We all set these goals for ourselves, but we don't normally think about an individual with special needs, that they too have a life that they have to live. And we don't often think about setting goals for them. So I was very happy. And where did I put that? I put it over here. I moved it and didn't know. So we were very happy when I got from Nathan's school, Nathan's New Year's resolution. So, as part of the classroom process and of transitioning him, the school that he's at, they work a lot with the children to help them to become more self actualized. So, they want them to have, they call it agency, meaning making decisions about his life, or having a say in the decisions about his life. So, because Nathan is nonverbal, they use a picture communication board. And for those families in Jamaica who we worked with last year through the JADE project, Jamaica Association on Intellectual Disability project. We worked with 25 children with intellectual disabilities. And this was something that our speech therapist, pathologist, Erin, shared with many other parents to use as a means of helping to draw out communication, because communication is not just verbal. It is in pictures, it is in gestures, it is in body language, it's in eye gaze, it's in different format. And so we have to use the strengths of the children to get them to communicate. So at school, they allow the children to look at the goals that are important to them. So yes, there are educational goals. He has to be able to do X and do Y, and he has to be able to understand the use of money and all of those skills that he will need of life. For occupational therapy, he's working on wiping his nose. He's working on helping himself to feed himself. 2 days ago, he was having a neck pain, and I used a massager to massage his neck, and he loved that kind of life. And so when I was done, he now came back and he picked up the massage and he was trying to do it himself. So he is very big on getting his independence. So what they did, they worked with him at school to help him to decide which of the goals that he wants to work on. And so at the top it says, I promise. New Year's resolution, I promise. With a hand over the heart, I promise. And so my Nathan's goals for 2025 is to be a good friend. And so, as part of schooling and as part of the social development, he will learn how to be a good friend. His goal also is to try my best. And I have seen the effort where he's not as frustrated as he usually is. And he will keep trying at something until he does it. Like for today, Nathan doesn't like when you break him away from his TV program. As far as he's concerned, he goes to school. And when he comes back, it's his time. And so he doesn't really like when you interfere with that. But today, his routine changed because we had an interview. And so he bathed and he ate quickly and he got dressed and he came down. But of course, he gave us some time. So he's kind of going, listen, I'm not giving you the whole evening. I'm just giving you until I can't stand this anymore. So we're grateful that he sat through most of the interview. And so we can definitely tick this one and to say to his teacher, yes, we're seeing that he's trying his best. Another goal is to eat new foods. Now we know that's not hard for Nathan because Nathan is a foodie. And so he is working on the goal to eat new foods. So we now have to introduce him to new foods. He still scrape the things off his tongue that he doesn't like, but he will take it in his mouth and he'll think about it for a second and then he will scrape it off his tongue. And so he didn't say he was going to eat it, he said he would try. And so we do see him putting in the effort to try. And then the other one is follow directions. So this is Nathan's resolution for 2025, New Year's resolution. We're going to keep it front and center and we're going to remind him of the progress that he's making and help him to see that that he is contributing to his own life in these ways, because these all of these are helping him to develop, but they're helping him to develop on his terms. So that was it in terms of what I wanted to discuss with you today. Um, I also wanted Nathan to do a cameo. So let me see if he is still available. I don't know because he might decided that I've taken up enough of his time. And so I'm going to ask Adrian to just bring him around so he can say hi to all of you. And so let's see if he's going to come because again, we're not going to force him. But of course, if he wants to come, then we'll say hi. So while we're waiting on him, just a couple of developments. So Nathan is going to next week. He gets his new wheelchair, and we're going to take you through that process. The wheelchair that he has no longer supports him, and so he has a lot of neck pain. He also has developed scoliosis, which is curvature of the spine, and he has it in his actually mid back to lower back. And a part of this new wheelchair is to get him to position him better, to support him better, because now we have to watch for pressure points because he's sitting a lot more. He has gotten heavier, he's gotten longer. And so we always have to be managing that process to make sure that we are keeping him as comfortable as possible and that he is supported as best as possible so that we don't have any issues there. And so Mr. Nathan is on his way to us, but I hear him. I don't think he wants to come, but we'll see. He is on his way. Nathan, I promise you'll only be a minute or two. Nathan, is he coming, Adrian? Is he coming? Oh, he's on his way. He's on his way. He's on his way. And so, yes, he has a very busy life and it will only get busier as he transition out because there's a lot of appointments that he has coming up. And here he is. Here he is. Let me turn the camera. Nathan, Nathan, say wave. You see that gorgeous smile? Oh, he's saying hi. I hope you hear. Say hi, wave. Yes. The camera is over here, Nate. Can you look at the camera? Good listening. Now look at me, Nathan, with your eyes. Use your eyes. Yes, there he goes. There he goes. Yeah. So he's quite excited. Actually, he loves the camera. Yes, and he's pointing. Thumbs up. Yeah, we're gonna be doing some things with Nathan's thumbs up. And so, Nathan, is there anything that you want to say? Adam, your friend Adam is on. You haven't seen Adam in a while. Your friend Adam is on. Do you want to say anything to Adam? No? Adam, he says, hey. He says, hey. Okay. All right, Nate. Nate? All right. So we are just going to wrap up the segment. As I said, we're getting better. I'm getting better and better at this. And so we continue to improve. And as I said, for some things, because there's some of the things that I want you to see him doing. So for some things, we're going to be doing a pre-recording, and I'm trying to fix back the camera because I moved it and then shifted everything. So guess what? He doesn't want to leave now. Bye, Nate. See you later. All right. So that is it for this week segment in terms of just keeping you updated one bite at a time. And we will continue to track his journey. Next week, he has his wheelchair. The following week, he has an MRI process to do. And then after that, he has the EEG process. So I'm just going to walk you through those so we can understand better the purpose that they serve so that other families can begin to determine whether or not they think that they need to do something similar with their own children. But also, it gives you a better opportunity to think about how your kiddo is transitioning and what may be some gaps that are there. And then it's just good information to have a really great story with a really cool kid. Well, not kid anymore, young man. And so I also want to thank everybody behind the scene who has really helped to bring forward another week of Nathan's next chapter. And I look forward to sharing more with you next week. But remember, like, share, subscribe. All right, because share the information because you never know. Share it on your page. You never know who is looking. I never forgot I shared when Nathan had gone through his hospitalization 2 years ago, and I was sharing the journey, and somebody reached out to me and she said, "You don't know me. I have been following you on Facebook for years, and I just want you to know how much your son, your family, yourself continue to inspire me." This week, my oldest son, Ryan, came to me and said, "Mom, one of my friends want to talk to you, one of his female friends." And she came on and she just wanted to tell you, "I love you." And I said, "Thank you. I love you. And, what is this about?" And she says, "I follow you on Facebook and I just wanted to thank you for the inspiration that you are and for the work that you're doing." So you never know who on your page or in your community may need support because they don't necessarily talk about it. And I want to encourage you, don't just watch and keep the information for yourself, but share it. All right. So until next week, take care. And as Miss Lou, Jamaican poet, would say, walk good, don't buck your toe. Catch you later.